DFQ is the first EQ designed specifically for mixing drums, which is really exciting because it's a very fresh approach. Traditional EQ designs are laid out by electrical engineers, and while the circuit designs are very brilliant, the problem is EQs are very technical, mathematical, and you and I, being creatives, we think and communicate in musical terms. So why don't we use tools that are musical? Because, for example, our clients don't come to us and say, hey, I want my snare to have 4 dB at 8,000 hertz with maybe a Q to 0.2 to 0.6. Somewhere in there it's gonna sound great. If they say, I want my snare to be brighter. Can you make it brighter or punchier or warmer? At Drumforge, we've taken a completely fresh approach to the EQ and decided to do something different. Instead of being technical with our EQ design and doing what everybody else does, we thought about it and decided to solve this problem by coming up with 3 parameters for a drum. So you go in and you dial the amount of punch, clarity, and attack that you want for each drum. And what's cool is each drum is specifically dialed in with a special set of preset modes. So a kick drum is gonna have different curves than a snare, is gonna have different curves than room mics, and etc. You also have the ability on each one of those parameters, the punch, clarity, and attack, to do different EQ curves that have been specifically selected and fine-tuned based off years of real-world mixing experience. For example, if you want to have the low-end shelf on a kick drum from a Pultec, or if you want to have a mid-range parametric control and proportional style attack, you can have that on DFQ by simply clicking a button. Something that I've noticed throughout all of my years of mixing and being involved in all the audio community forums and things like that over the years is that a lot of engineers are afraid to use too much EQ. If it looks wrong on the graph, meaning the number is too high, no matter how good it sounds, you're always sitting there in the back of your head and you're like, maybe I'm doing something wrong, maybe this EQ is too extreme. What happens is that we're afraid to arrive at the sounds that we don't like the look of. Now, DFQ eliminates and solves this problem because it removes all numbers from the equation. Each mode for each drum based on the drum and the parameter, meaning the punch, the clarity, and the attack, is dialed in specifically with a specific range that you don't see. You just turn up the knob 0 through 100%, and you stop when it sounds right to you. You don't know how many dB it's boosting or not. You don't have to worry about it. Only thing you need to concentrate is on your ears, which is very exciting and very musical in use. Aside from DFQ's very creative workflow, there's a couple of features that are really useful and very powerful. For example, the entire EQ is fully in parallel, meaning that you can dial in really extreme sounds and then bring them back and make them sound natural. So for example, say you want to bring out a specific resonant area of a kick drum to kind of make it boom more, and a certain area of the attack to make it punch through the mix. And when you get that resonance and that attack out, what's going to happen in the real world is it would sound really extreme and kind of goofy. But when you bring the parallel knob back, it then brings in the natural tone of the drum and allows you to get those characteristics and get some really unique and crazy sounds that are otherwise not possible with traditional EQ designs. If you want to take the drum sound that's been living in your head and translate it through your speakers to the listener, head over to drumforge.com and have a look at DFQ.